friends get together so that they can try things. Yell about it, this podcast so that you can try things. Now we will stop singing so that we can all now try this.
Hello and welcome to Now Try This, the podcast where two best friends get together every week to try some new things. I'm Marcus, and that superhero critical role loving bookshelf motherfucker is Nicholas. How you doing? Sailor Moon. Nice.
You like my new bookshelf?
I like it.
Guys, if you are listening to the pod and not watching us live on Twitch at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/nowtrythiscast, you are missing out because I got myself the exact same bookcase because I moved, but I rearranged stuff and it looks cool. You want to see my favorite part?
Yeah,
My favorite
show me.
part is I color-coded my books, but I also color-coded the action figures with the books.
Wow, I like that.
Come on.
I
Tell
like
me that's
that.
not dope.
I like that.
Yeah?
I don't like when people color coordinate their books. I feel like that means they don't actually read them and therefore design. But with the action figures,
Hell yeah.
that's good. I like it.
Well, because I downsized, so I only have one shelf worth of books. And, oh, Drum Bum in the chat, bookshelf motherfucker likes it. Drum Bum got me this one right here. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
I
nice.
came from Andrew.
Hell
Nice.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Marcus, I am good. I am here. We are Now Try This. Now Try This is a show where two best friends try each other's things. And this week we are trying your thing.
Yes,
And
my
your
thing.
But before we get to that, guys, we want to thank everyone that has been participating in our giveaway, following us on new socials. Any new people out there listening to us, welcome. If you're coming here from Critical Role content or coming here from Pokemon content, we would love to do more of that content. You just let us know you want it and we will do it. But for now, we are doing a new movie that no one cares about and an older movie that no one talks about because it's Marcus's challenge.
That's the fun of the podcast. Right when we're like rocket shooting ourselves into space with how much like extra people we have watching, listening, subscribing, joining us every week, I decide to give the most irrelevant thing I could possibly think of. Not on purpose, but because the core of the show is that it's things we like. And I watched Cyrano and I really enjoyed it. And I was like, I want to share this. And then I remembered that there was this other Cyrano adaptation that I also wanted you to watch. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Instead of doing two separate episodes about Cyrano, let's just do one big episode with both things Cyrano related.
To be fair, Cyrano comes out at all other theaters tomorrow. So it is timely.
Mm-hmm. It's
Do
very
I
timely.
do I think?
And it's also,
I
it got an
think-
Oscar nomination.
Do I for like what? Like makeup?
Costumes. That's the thing.
Costumes, great.
It's important.
It's super is. So listen, do I think that a musical period piece based off of a play from 1897 gonna get us people clamoring
Yes.
here? No. But if you ended up here because you like our other content, stick around because I promise we'll have a good time talking about Cyrano and the half of it. But before we get to that, guys, I just want to tell Marcus, I love you, best friend. How are you doing today, sir? What is life like? How are you doing? Give me the skinny, the lowdown, the 411, the hot gas.
What is happening? I feel like you're prepping me for you to absolutely destroy both of these things, and you're being nice. So I appreciate that. I like the buffer content here. I'm doing well.
What?
I'm doing well.
No ulterior motives.
Doing well.
I am here to do a show, and we're about to do the show. That's what we're doing.
Recently, exciting news, under contract for a house, so might be moving soon. I might have a new setup here. I'm going to try to work really hard to get something fun and interesting behind me. But
Like
for now,
a
you're stuck
color
with this.
coordinated bookshelf?
Like maybe a color coordinated bookshelf, or at least one action figure that isn't this haunted doll here.
But the haunted doll comes to the new house.
The
That
haunted
is
doll definitely comes to the house. Yeah, it's right next to cemetery too. So I'm hoping that like the combination of those two things will really spice things up, because this doll hasn't been doing enough haunting in the house.
I know. Guys, if you want to hear the tale of Arlene, go check out our Chucky episode where we bought a haunted doll
from eBay.
and it now lives with Marcus in his home.
I love it. It's
he
great.
He thinks nothing's been happening, but he's been behind the scenes telling me about a lot of stress and strife he's been going through in his life. I don't know. Is it Arlene's fault?
Wow. I never thought about it that way.
Maybe it took this long to find a house, because Arlene wanted to live next to the cemetery. You ever think of that, Marcus?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
She needs some company.
Oh,
That's
my
right.
God. She's been influencing all of my decisions this whole time. Holy shit. Arlene.
Oh, my goodness.
You sassy lady.
Listen, I've never seen that sweater before. Did you choose it or did Arlene?
Actually, shout out to my girlfriend Daron. She knitted the sweater.
She knitted that?
She knitted the sweater. Mm-hmm.
I would pay $60 at H&M for that sweater. That is a nice ass sweater. That's a real, that's like a real sweater. It's
a real sweater.
Oh, I knitted something for you and it's like cute and like, oh, let me wear it out of like necessity because you did it. That's a dope looking sweater.
It's a great sweater. I love it. It's like super comfy. I wear it to go to sleep. It's nice.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I lifting up the veil, I bought my partner knitting things for Valentine's Day, and she has yet to knit me anything. I'm just saying. It is now 10 days after Valentine's Day.
That's a lot of time. She could have knitted 2 sweaters by now.
I'm not wearing a sweater. I'm not wearing a scarf. No mug cozy for me. I'm sure she's watching, and she's livid about the things I'm saying out loud.
Nick,
I don't have a sweater, so.
Have you tried anything new?
Other
than upsetting your girlfriend in the chat, have you tried anything
No,
new?
I haven't. I've just been trying to live my life, doing gig to gig, moving into this new place. I'm so happy to be living with my partner. It's been so great being able to come home to the same place, to a loving person every day. So I haven't been trying anything new because that's been taking up all my energy of thinking about life, enjoying this new space that we have.
Well, Nick, we're both in love. We're both like making new strides to further that love and passion, and I feel like that's a perfect
let's take some time to talk about what is wrong with the concept of love. Let's talk about your challenge. Would you like to start, sir, with the half of it or with Cyrano?
I was going to ask you that. Which one do you want to talk about? Because I feel like I don't know.
Gosh.
I would say I know what I want to talk about, but I don't know your reactions. So whatever, based on your reaction to both of them, do the order. The one you want to get through more quickly, let's start with that one, I guess.
I feel like starting with the timely one makes sense. I also feel like starting with the Cyrano film makes sense because it is the classic. It is a reimagining, but of the classic, while the other one's like a loose take. Same as like 10 Things I Hate About You is Taming of the Shrew, right?
Yeah,
It is, but it's like not.
Yeah.
But like it is, So I think starting with, and it's the one that I more recently watched. So I think Peter Dinklage's vehicle, Cyrano.
Let's start with
a place to start. Marcus, why did you give me Cyrano? Because you're not a period piece boy. You're not a musical boy. You're not a
I love musicals. What are you talking about? I'm not a musical boy. Are you kidding me?
How many have you given me on the podcast?
That's true. I haven't, because you've seen them all. It's hard. It's like comic book movies. It's hard to give you comic book movies because you see them all. You're right.
Oh, please go ahead.
Nick, I love musicals. I love Cyrano. No, I don't. Okay, here's what happened. I went to when the pandemic started. Let me center myself. When the pandemic started.
Yeah, we're not on a time clock, Marcus.
And we had time
speed you want.
Off from work, but it was still spreading. People were just starting to wear masks, but nothing has really been canceled yet. I went to a showing of Cyrano.
Oh, the play?
The play, starring James McAvoy.
You saw that?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
And it was a broadcast, and I watched it, and I really enjoyed the story, but there was a disconnect because James McAvoy is hot as fuck.
Yeah.
He is one of the hottest people. He's just very hot, okay?
Yeah.
And the story, for those of you who don't know, is about a man with a flaw of some kind. Like specifically, he has a big nose. So because of his big nose, no one will love him. People see him as ugly. He's deemed a freak. So
they didn't have makeup on James McAvoy or anything?
They didn't have shit on James McAvoy. He was just up there being hot as fuck, being like, oh, no one will ever love me. Woe is me. And then
I'm sure he acted so good.
He acted so well.
I love that dude. But
I could suspend my disbelief, but when one of the most beautiful people I've seen is telling me how ugly they are, and everyone around them is like, yeah, that guy's ugly. I'm like, what world am I living in? So it completely I don't know. I liked it a lot, but I didn't feel as connected to it And then when I watched this version of it, like seeing Peter Dinklage perform Cyrano, I was like, man, like I really connect more with this version of it because like people see him differently. People treat him differently because of the way he looks.
Peter Dinklage,
and like
very handsome, but the chip on his shoulder makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I mean, like even now, like you have so many people in society just like being shitty to people who are different, and like even recently he was upset about like Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, and like there's still issues related to his looks and his appearance in society. And so I was like, oh, this is much more relatable and believable of a role than James McAvoy doing it.
Yeah, agreed. And I'm sure you're in the same boat as me where you think Peter Dinklage is awesome because of Game of Thrones. I mean, watching him on that show for 8 seasons, the highs and lows of it, great.
Yes.
He's one of the best parts of it.
Yeah. And after seeing him in this film, I was like, I don't think the film is perfect by any means. I think I have negative things to say about the film, but I think that Peter Dinklage like acted the shit out of this film. Like, I think he did an incredible job. Granted, they had to auto-tune his voice for a lot of things because it's a musical and he had to sing. That's fine, whatever. But like, I think he deserves some credit for the acting he does in this film.
And he's getting some nominations here and there for different stuff. He's getting notoriety. He definitely is.
Yeah.
I would, not to interrupt you, I would agree with you that Peter Dinklage in this film is amazing. I mean, Peter Dinklage has such an air and gravitas about him. And not to put him in a box, but the fact that he's a man of such small stature, but when he's on stage, I'm not paying attention to that. I don't notice that. He is just so verbose in the way he speaks and his presence and his charisma that, and there's an added thing because the things he's talking about being different and having the chip on his shoulder for being small and, every time he's like, oh, this insults again, what else you got? It's real, right? Because he's openly talked about it. He's faced, and those comments have shaped the person who he is, like in real life. And everybody who ever talks about Peter Dinklage, like on all the Game of Thrones interviews and things like that, people always talk about how humble and great of a person he is. And you can tell people gravitate towards him. And, that happens in this film. Cyrano is a person that everyone's gravitating towards, even though they have been given this lot in life that some see as a negative.
Yeah.
And, at no point are you are anything but on Peter's side this entire fucking film.
I think you touch on a really good point. I think Peter Dinklage commands a room. And Cyrano commands a room. Like, even though he is self-conscious about his looks and he has a hard time figuring out what love is, and he's sort of experiencing unrequited love, he still is a confident man and has had to overcome this obstacle. Whereas when I was watching James McAvoy perform, he did a fucking fantastic job. He's a great actor, but he is someone who, just by looking at him, you're like, oh, I want to look at that guy. You know what I mean? Whereas Peter Dinklage is someone that people might want to look away from, right? So in the same way, Peter Dinklage has to command a room if he wants the attention that people like James McAvoy just get.
Beautifully said. That being said, and because I don't want my next comments to tarnish Peter Dinklage's name in any way. I think a lot of people in this film did a really good job. I think Haley Bennett, Kelvin Harrison Jr., Ben Mendelsohn, even as the Duke. I think they all did a really good job.
Yeah.
Man, was this film hard to watch. So so as I'm watching this film, tonally, like the tone of this film, I felt couldn't make up its goddamn mind. Like it like 1/4 wanted to be like a Shakespearean play, 1/4 be like a trendy, like avant-garde Moulin Rouge musical, 1/4 it wanted to be like Bridgerton, and then another 1/4 it just wanted to show like cool things. Like Joe Wright is very famous for making period pieces and these like things. He's made great films. He's made Atonement. Atonement is a fantastic film. James McAvoy's in it. Pride and Prejudice, the Pride and Prejudice his version that he made
Yeah.
with what's her face, Keira Knightley.
Keira Knightley.
Some people don't like it. I love that film. I think it's a
Mhm.
great film. I think it's perfectly cast. I love the music. I think it's a beautiful film to look at. The guy knows how to make a film. You know,
Yeah.
he made The Darkest Hour, which had a whole bunch of Oscar nominations.
Mm.
I just don't know what he was doing, Joe Wright, in this film, because the tone just like kept giving me whiplash, and like
Yeah.
it took about half of this film to get to a scene where I was like, oh, I like that scene.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Nick, it's so weird because I agree with you so hard about this movie. I liked it and I had a good time, but there were so many aspects
Agreed.
of it where I was
Agreed.
like, what the fuck is going on? The fact that I watched a musical and the whole time thought, man, I wish this wasn't a musical is shocking to me.
Yes.
Because I love musicals. I am here for
Same.
them. I watch so many things. I'm like, that would be a great musical. I am a man who
Always.
is like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That would make a great
Should
musical.
be a musical.
Fuck yeah. Ninja Turtles, great musical. You can make a
musical.
great musical of anything, I believe.
Yeah.
But this was the
agreed.
first time I was sitting there. I was like, man, I really wish this wasn't a musical.
I was like, just say that. You don't have to sing it. Just say it.
Just say it.
Just say that.
Yeah.
So I think this is what I was trying to. Oh, thanks, Goose Von Kaiser, for raiding the party. Welcome, welcome. I think here's my problem with it. As soon as the first song started, as soon as Haley Bennett started singing the very first song,
Mhm.
I knew we were in trouble.
Oh, no.
Not because she did anything wrong. She's a great actress. I don't know if you saw what's the name of the film? The Devil That You Know, The Devil in
No,
All of Us.
I haven't
from
seen that.
Netflix. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yeah.
The devil, the devil all the time. Honestly, fantastic film. I've almost given it to you. I really liked her in it. But she's a fantastic actress. But when she starts singing in the world, so in musicals, the
Okay.
reason it's a musical.
We have to go back.
We've
Rewind.
talked about it a million times. The reason musicals are because the emotions and everything happening are so intense that it must be brought into song.
Mhm.
But in that magic, the world stops for that person to sing. In this movie, Joe Wright kept making the choice to have the world keep going. I literally kept hearing the carriage rides and the people in the background talking, and everyone else was still living their life as Haley Bennett starts singing the first song. And I was like, why can't I hear her sing? Like, what is happening? And also, the music, gosh, I don't want to shit on the music. Making music is hard, but like all the music is like this weird Pygmalion fucking My Fair Lady like talk singing, where it's like I need them to either talk more to music or I need them to fucking sing the song.
Yeah.
They're not like singing the songs.
Yeah.
How did you feel when people started singing?
I agree. I think that there was like maybe like 2 songs that I liked, and that
Same.
I like is maybe like even strong, but I was like, okay, I am enjoying my experience with these songs. But this
One I liked,
version
one I loved.
is actually adapted from a stage musical,
Yeah.
which is also strange because I didn't go on and listen to that version of things. I didn't like this, so I was like, I'm not even gonna bother listening to the original. But I do wonder if the original might have been like a little better, because sometimes movie musicals, they'll change the songs and make them a little bit worse.
Maybe. Yeah, usually.
So I'm curious about that. I have to go back and listen to that.
It's just every time they broke out into song, I was like, and maybe this is rude to say, but I just kept thinking, God, you guys just need to like go watch La La Land. Like, it's just like there's like a way you break out into song, like, and
I
there's a way to
understand.
do it, and it's still natural. Like, take what you want from La La Land. You might not like it, you might hate it. I'm only using an example because I think that movie did a good job of what this movie was trying to do, where it's people are naturally talking, living their lives, and it breaks out into song.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like a big blowout, everything stops, the lights change,
Mhm.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
I like those musicals too, but this chose to do neither one of those.
It
So I
was-
just don't know where it wanted to be.
It was jarring whenever they started singing. I would say
Yeah, almost every time.
almost every time. When Peter Dinklage is fighting that guy on stage, that felt natural.
Oh, the rap battle?
The rap battle, that was pretty good. I like
That
a
felt
lot.
natural. That was dope.
That was natural.
Oh, can we? Okay. We'll say in the songs. I was about to change topics. We'll say in the songs. So
Okay.
I like that. I thought the moment that I started to like this film was when Cyrano and Christian were talking through the doorway together.
Yes.
I thought it was
Yeah,
a really nice scene. It was really
was a
well
good
done.
scene.
And that song like made sense. Like,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
That whispery, talky kind of
Mhm.
thing, it worked really well, I thought.
Yeah.
Because of all the emotion. But I will say, and I like that song, but I was literally brought to tears from a fucking musical that I didn't like, that I didn't want them to burst out into songs when they sang the song about the letters during the war.
Yes. Oh my God. That song
That
goes so
was
hard.
beautiful.
That song goes so
Beautiful.
hard. It is trying
It
to
was
make you
so
cry.
hard.
And it succeeded.
Ugh.
I was like there
Yeah.
sitting there just tearing up. It was so bad.
So all these men are about to go on the front lines of the war. They realize they're about to die. It's a suicide mission. They're all, a couple of them are down in the what do you call the pit?
Trenches?
What do you call a pit in a war? They're literally in the trenches, and the little boy is about to take their last letters, and they sing a song. It's like, I have a letter here. This is for my girl who I never told her I loved her. And then the chorus of it was like, don't cry for me. Where I land is gonna be heaven.
Yeah.
And then it kept going to each person.
Oh
And
God.
the conviction that each of these actors did, oh, it was beautiful.
I'm getting chills just remembering the song.
Oh, and they did it perfectly. It was quiet
Mhm.
and like conversational and just a little bit of music, and that chorus like hit you hard. And the
Yeah.
choruses didn't like everyone joined in. It was still just that one person
Yes.
saying, don't cry for me. Where I die is where I'll be for heaven. And then the last guy was like, this is for my father. He's
Mhm.
not a good man. He thinks he's going to hell, but tell him I'll meet him and I'll ring the bell. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I'll ring the bell for him and wait for him in heaven so he can come up there with me as I die
Oh,
in this
man.
war. And then
Yeah.
they all leave.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Tearing up just
Beautiful.
thinking about it. Just thinking about it.
tear up.
Just thinking about it.
Which is crazy how a film that we're both kind of like for like a lot of it
Yeah.
got to that moment.
That
Out of
moment
nowhere.
was honestly, it's like that moment alone is better than some entire musicals that I've seen,
Yeah, agreed. So entire movies, musicals, all of it.
which is so weird to
Which
me.
is weird. So because it's weird because it was possible. They had it.
Yeah.
They had Peter Dinklage.
Uh-huh.
Haley Bennett, I thought she's great. I think she's great.
Yeah, she's great.
They have the capacity to film and to make these musical numbers good.
Mhm.
So I don't know why it's
Why
like
they-
when Christian started singing a song through the barracks, I'm just like, what are you singing about? Who are you singing to? What's happening? What is this for? And all the soldiers are like,
Yeah. Yep. It's
I
just-
usually love when people are dancing in the background, but I'm like,
I
why are
agree.
you doing it?
I agree. Other than like even my dislike of it being a musical, even though I love musicals,
Yeah.
I would keep that song. Like I would keep
Yeah.
two songs. I would keep him
Yeah.
doing the little rap battle on the stage, and I would keep the song in the.
I would keep the balcony
trenches.
too. That was sweet. I would keep
That
the
didn't
balcony.
even
The
need to
balcony
be a
was sweet.
song. I was like, just fine, just as a scene.
Honestly,
by
it's true
itself.
because Peter Dinklage was like killing those words.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe that's what it was because Haley Bennett and Cyrano with Peter Dinklage, the way they were speaking was so good.
Mm-hmm.
They were so good with verse.
Yeah.
And they tried to keep some of the verse there, a lot of it, like with the rhymes and everything,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the couplets. They tried to keep a lot of the verse, and it worked. It felt natural. They delivered it well. It made sense. I wasn't like, oh, they're rhyming in these weird couplets. Like
No, it
sometimes
worked.
when people don't know how to do Shakespeare, it happens.
Yes.
You've seen bad Shakespeare.
Oh, I've
You
seen
know what I'm
bad
talking about.
Shakespeare for sure.
Lexi doesn't think she likes Shakespeare, and I promise her all the time. I'm like, baby, I promise you, you've just seen bad Shakespeare. When you see good Shakespeare, you don't feel that way.
Yeah, you
When
understand.
when you see bad Shakespeare, you feel
For
Yeah.
sure. No, good
So-
Shakespeare
so
will get the
that's why-
message across. Even if you don't understand the words exactly, you'll understand the vibes. And it's great.
Yeah, it's all feeling. But yeah, I don't know what that disconnect was in the film. It was just this weird tonal shifts that just didn't
I
pay
think
to the shot.
For me, it was just like you had this very strong cast, this very strong director, this strong actors,
Yeah.
like strong costume
Why was
pieces.
the song strong?
Everything was so strong and well put together. And then when it came time to sing, it was just everything went downhill and the quality of the film overall just dropped.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
I was just like, it stressed me out because I was like, why is the thing that I came here for the fact that this is a musical, the thing I
Yeah.
want to leave about?
But Marcus, do you know what I did not come to this film for?
What?
Badass action. You know what I got? Like 15 minutes into this film?
Badass action!
A fucking fantastic oneer with a 50-year-old Peter Dinklage doing
Hell
a
yeah.
lot of it himself
Hell yeah.
and tearing these guys apart. I was sitting there like, I don't know why people are singing. This isn't good. I don't know what's happening. And then they got in that dark hallway, and it turned into a oneer, and Peter Dinklage started fucking swinging that sword around and taking out 10 guys. And I was like, this is better than Daredevil. Why is this so good?
Yeah. When Peter Dinklage shows up in the theater and he's like, you're bad at acting. Stop it now. I'll pay everyone's fee. Leave. I was like, man, fucking Peter Dinklage is cool as shit.
Yeah, that was a badass entrance.
Yeah.
Talking like the Phantom from over there. And then he had that really cool sword fight with the one guy. And I love when in the action. So some things in the movie are really good. I love in the action where he kills that guy and he is so remorseful and sorry.
Yep.
And he like quietly puts him down. It says everything you need to know about his character. Right?
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
The man with the biggest sword doesn't have to flaunt it. You know what I mean? Like
exactly,
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't take joy in it, you know?
No.
He's needed to be a badass.
Yeah, exactly. And he's willing to defend his honor. He's a great fighter. He's a soldier. Like, you get all of that character across in that one scene. And that's great direction. That's great writing. Like, that's a lot of skill that it takes to get that done. But then I don't know who the fuck was in charge of music.
But then we go from that, and we go from these awesome moments, and then we have a whole song and scene dedicated to the Duke being an asshole. What was that song?
Yeah.
The actor was good. I just
Yeah.
I needed another Cyrano song. I wanted I literally, as that one, I paused it because I knew I wasn't gonna like what happens. But as the music was going, it was like do 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 do. I paused it and I started singing my own Peter Dinklage song to Lexi. She was like, "You go, baby." And I was like, "Oh, is this what I'll have to do? Do 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 do. Is this what I'm gonna be? Do do." You know, like that's the moment what I wanted, right?
Yeah.
As Cyrano was like wondering what to do,
Yeah.
if he should let Haley Bennett get married, Roxanne get married, if he shouldn't, stop the Duke or shouldn't. Like, that's what I wanted in that moment.
I agree.
Instead, we had the Duke running around. It's like, I take everything I want.
It was too on the nose. All the songs were too on the nose. Like, you look at a girl, she's like, "Oh, I'm about to get married," and she's like, "I want love. Can I find love? I need love." You're like, okay.
I hated that song.
We understand.
I want
We
more.
fucking get it.
I want more.
I want
Is that
more.
what that song
Whatever.
was?
Yeah, and it was like, fucking, I get
hated
it,
that song.
dude. And then the villain song's like, "I'm an evil guy doing evil things. Twirly twirl my mustache, baby." And you're like, God, fucking shut the fuck up.
And Cyrano didn't really get a cool song.
Yeah.
He didn't get like a moment of doubt song.
When all of the like writing in it is so well done, when the poetry is so great, when, like you said, the verse is just so poetic and amazing, and then the songs are just like so stupid and so dumbed down, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, the levels, it just doesn't mesh. You have Cyrano being so like poetic and like intelligent, and then when he's singing, it's dumb, and he's not like, it's one thing if he was being more vulnerable and like that's what you were getting at. But
it did happen during the balcony scene. It did happen during the balcony scene.
Yes,
like,
yes,
as he was singing off the set, but that was the only time.
Yeah,
and it should have been the whole movie.
Time. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the love interest, who's also part of the love triangle, he has a beautiful voice. Christian, yeah, he has a beautiful voice. He sang for like 5 seconds, and I understand that that's part of his character.
He had 2 whole songs. You just don't remember because they were shit.
Did he have 2 songs? Man, I swore that guy sang for like 2 seconds. I did not remember that. I did not remember that.
That being said, I have a question for you because I'm just a little confused. Like, why would they make Roxanne so unlikable? Like, why would they give her so, like, make her so vain and so vapid? I don't want to bring it up too much before we get into it, but in the half of it, when you had Esther, I thought that movie did a really good job of making it worth the trouble.
Yes,
I
agree.
Going after her. In this one, Roxanne, like, she kind of like was not kind of, she super manipulated the Duke.
Oh,
she was like influencing the course of war.
Yep.
She was like, she literally looked at a guy and then told her best friend, "Yo, fucking die so I can fucking get married to this guy. Like, fucking get shit done.
That's true, yeah.
I'm not gonna give you nothing, but can you fucking make sure this happens, bitch? Let's go, Cyrano."
They made
like,
her really
Roxanne.
unlikable, and like she kind of walked all over Cyrano. And granted, Cyrano is not doing a great thing either. Like, he could have just confessed his love
100%.
for her, and I understand his insecurities, but like, she was not likable at all. And I was like, man, the whole movie, I was like, Peter Dinklage, just like, you could do better, my guy. You could do so much better.
I thought, and it wasn't Haley Bennett's fault. I thought she did exactly what she was supposed to do beautifully.
Yes,
Like, I think
agree.
the balcony scene, I really liked. And I really liked her words in the final moments of the film. I thought her finding out it was Cyrano was actually pretty beautiful. I thought she did that really well. And it really looked like she was in love, and she realized who her real love was. Like, it looked like that, right?
Yeah.
And that was sweet.
Yeah.
But why didn't I feel that way for her for the whole film? Whereas, like, that other stupid fucking film was fucking Netflix tween fucking movie.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Aster's worth it. Yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
this is great. She's
Fucking
totally
lie,
worth it.
cheat, steal for her. It totally makes sense.
Yeah. Which is really interesting. I like that we're doing these two because we do have to, once we get to the second film, we'll be able to compare it to this one a little bit more and just the original story of Cyrano. But there was just so many things where I was like, that was done better over there. Yeah. I like the way the other half handled a lot of the storytelling, which the other half technically came out before this version of Cyrano.
So they should have learned a thing. But this is also an adaptation of an adaptation of an adaptation.
Exactly.
So it's like there's a lot that this had to work through and work with, very verbose, words and music, but so I think overall the movie was a good movie. I enjoyed it, but it was so the things that were wrong are so distractingly wrong.
Yeah.
You're gonna notice the whole goddamn film.
Yeah.
But still worth watching for Peter Dinklage.
I agree. I wanted you to watch
He's a perfect
this
Cyrano.
because I thought he was the perfect Cyrano. I was like, man, like you watch a play that's been done a million times, right? Like Macbeth, Hamlet, or whatever. But then sometimes you watch someone perform it so well that they are just that character in your head now. So like for me, when I think of Cyrano, I'm going to think of Peter Dinklage as Cyrano.
Same. 100% agreed.
Now, do you want to quickly go over the plot of Cyrano so we have it as a template for the next movie that we talk about before we transition into the next movie? So Cyrano grows up with childhood best friend Roxanne
de Bergerac.
Cyrano de Bergerac. De Bergerac. I'm sure there's a very French way of saying this considering it's French, but I'm going to say de Bergerac. So Cyrano and Roxanne grow up together. They're best friends. He's madly in love with her. It's unrequited love. She thinks of him as a bestie. We've seen this before. Then Christian shows up and he's like, hey, Cyrano, I'm joining the military. And Roxanne sees him and is like, holy shit, I want to fuck that guy. And Cyrano, you're just the man to help me fuck this guy. And Cyrano is like, God damn it, I thought you were going to confess your love to me, but I guess not. And since I love you so much, I'll help you fall in love with this guy. Or I'll help him live. I'll help him out during training and soldier shit. Then he finds out this guy's a dumbass. And Roxanne values intelligence. So Cyrano does what?
He writes his letters for him.
Uh-huh. You take over. I did the first bit.
Oh, okay. Got it. I was like, what are you throwing at me? You're doing fine. I was like, you're doing great. I also just noticed in the chat, Daron said, world's worst villain anthem for the Duke.
100%.
Give me Hunchback or Notre Dame, Hellfire.
Oh, Hellfire. Yeah. God, let's go.
That's
that's
what that should have felt
songs.
like.
Yeah.
Or it should have felt silly, like in Moulin Rouge when the Duke was singing like a virgin.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, Hunchback and this Cyrano are like very similar.
Yeah.
For sure.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's loosely based on it a little bit. So then Cyrano starts writing letters for him. And it's going great. Everyone's happy. And then Roxanne's like, yo, let's get together so we can fuck. Yeah. And then Christian's like, hell yeah. And Cyrano's like, you idiot, you're not ready. And he's like, I don't need you no more. And then they meet up. And then Roxanne's like, tell me things. And the dude's like, I love you. And she's like, is that all? You're a flower? And she's like, what? I'm not a flower. How dare you? And then Cyrano shows up and was like, Christian was like, you were spying Cyrano? And he was like, yep. You ruined that. And he's like, shut up. So then Cyrano gets the lovely idea to, instead of doing the letters, to help him speak Romeo and Juliet style through the balcony. Mm-hmm. After Roxanne sings a very bad song about needing more. And I was like, prove why in this film. Because right now you seem like you're more trouble than you're worth. You're very vain.
It was weird. Maybe I feel like maybe people's standards are, their own thing. But sometimes I'm like, you know what? Reflect on yourself first before you talk about like what you deserve. Yeah.
Also, like, who's Christian? Like, you haven't proven yourself either. The only person in my head that's worth a damn is Cyrano. That's pissing me off at this point.
I agree.
Anyway,
yeah.
Anyway, Cyrano took out 10 guys. He can
Mhm.
have a rap battle at the theater. Anyway,
He's
so
great
then-
looking. I am pro Cyrano. I'm like, man, Cyrano's such a catch. What is he
Yeah.
doing here?
So he's a little short. Whatever.
Yeah,
hot.
Short king
Whatever.
Cyrano. Let's go.
Yes. So they're speaking up to the balcony, and the guy is trying to speak for him. And then Roxanne's like, "Oh, why are there all these long pauses between what you're saying?" And they're like, "Fuck." And Cyrano's like, "Okay, I'll talk." And then he talks, and Roxanne's like, "Why'd your voice get deeper?" And he was like, "So, because I don't have to lie anymore about who I really am." And I was like, "Fuck, Cyrano, that was good. That worked. Yeah."
No, I was
And
like,
then they
that's
sing a whole
dumb.
song.
That did not work. What is happening?
You tell yourself lies when you want to be in love, right?
Fair.
Fully coolly, love makes you do stupid things.
Yep,
the
that's
old
true.
adage. So then they fall in love, and then I'm a little confused. I feel like Christian goes up and they fuck.
I thought
There's a weird like amount of time that I'm not sure if a minute went by
Mhm.
or like an hour.
I'm pretty sure they went up.
I don't know. They might have
and fucked. They fucked.
Well, her hair was down.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
up and then it was down.
Yeah.
So I know I only put my hair down for one thing. I'm just saying. Let these hairs down. So then they fuck, and then the Duke sends a letter like, "Yo, you know what? You know how you've been manipulating me? Well, now I'm in love, and I'm gonna come home, and we're gonna fuck right now.
Mhm.
Here's a priest. You want to get married? We can fuck." The priest can leave, not get married, we still gonna fuck. No matter what, I own you, we gonna fuck.
Yeah.
And then they're all like, "Oh no, what are we gonna do?" And then Roxanne's like, "Yo, Christian, marry me right now." And Christian's like, "Okay." And Cyrano's like, "Fuck."
Yep.
So that and then I'm confused again because Roxanne's like, "Go, hold up the Duke, make sure we have time." And Cyrano is like, "Of course." Cyrano just walks like in the alleys back and forth.
Oh
He
yeah,
doesn't do
100%.
anything.
Yeah, that was kind of
He didn't do
weird.
anything at all.
He doesn't do anything.
And then the Duke shows up, and then we realize the Duke's like, let's be honest, he couldn't last. It was probably 1 minute. Fully cool. He says, "That's probably right. Christian's probably somebody that needs like a little inspiration and a little help to
Mhm.
get things done." Anyway,
Mhm.
so then the Duke is like, "You know what? I'm pissed. You married this dude. Cyrano's being a dick. He killed the guy that I was probably fucking on the side, and you're all going to war." So he sends them all to war. It's super sad. Cyrano keeps writing letters to Roxanne behind Christian's back
Yep.
every day, but whatever. Christian finds out, and Christian's like, "Oh, you fucker, you love her." And he's like, No, I don't love her. And then,
God.
but then Christian's like, honestly, it's the first time Christian, I was like, "All right, Christian, you're trying to be a
Yeah.
He's like, "No, you
yeah,
gotta
I
tell
don't
them the
think
truth.
Christian
We gotta
was a
let's be
bad
honest."
guy. He was just
No,
like
he was just
a
an oaf.
himbo. He's just a himbo.
Himbo's great. And I think the half of it got the himbo thing even better. 'cause,
Yeah,
like,
I agree. Yeah.
Paul in the half of it as
I
the
love
loving
Paul
oaf is
so
like,
much.
oh my goodness. Anyway, so then there's war, and then they realize they're all about to die. So then Christian goes out to die. Again, I'm confused. Did Christian just run out so he could die right away because he was so sad?
I think
he
so.
just-
That's
he
what it
didn't, like-
seemed like. Because he didn't try
Weird.
to survive. I feel he just
No,
kind of ran out and was
he
like,
didn't-
I'm
didn't try at all.
fodder. Kill me.
And then the weirdest thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
3 years later happened. I don't know why. I don't know why we needed 3 years.
3 years.
whatever.
later. You need a time jump. A good movie has a time jump.
Why? Well, apparently now Cyrano is disgraced. I don't know why. He should be a war hero, but whatever. And he's like destitute and like dying. And Roxanne like works at a hospital because she's a widow. And he goes there every day or once a week. And today he
Mhm.
went there and he's like, "Please let me read his last letter." And he starts reading it. And then she's like, "You know all the words. You wrote it." And he's like, "No, what?" And she's like, "How dare you lie to me? Why would you ask me now? Why would you tell me now?" And he's like, this was so dumb. Because he was like, "Today's my last day." And then he falls over and starts dying.
That happens, Nick. That happens. Have you never been to a hospital before? You feel it.
No, I didn't.
You feel
Cyrano
it.
was too cool. Politicians had the policit to I don't even know what that word is, Goose. I don't even know what you're saying. But anyway, so Cyrano's dying, and he's like, "Yo, I'm dying." And Haley Bennett is finally like, "Oh shit, I love you." And honestly,
Yeah,
very sweet moment
it was very
that
nice.
I knew what was gonna happen. I knew he was just about to die and the
Sure.
movie was gonna
Yeah,
end.
yeah.
But I was pleading in my heart, please just let him live because of love and let them just leave on a happy ending because this movie's dumb. But nope, he dies. She's crying. End of movie.
That's how it ends. Yeah. Okay. Daron says if she doesn't get a 10-minute heads up of my time of death, she's going to be livid. I know when I'm going to die. I will let everybody know. I'll tweet it. I'll post about it on Facebook. I'm going to be like, I am dying in 5 minutes. say your goodbyes now.
But that's Cyrano.
But that happens in plays. I feel like that happens a lot in old timey plays. Like they're sitting
It
on the deathbed.
does.
It happens in so many movies. Well, like you've seen the scene 1,000
Right.
times, right? Like,
Yeah.
Nick,
No, don't leave.
Nick, please.
Don't go to the light.
Thing to say.
What's the last thing?
Don't eat my Cheetos.
What? What does that mean? Dad, what does that mean? Son, what does that mean? Lover, what does that mean? Oh no. You're right. But here's my
Right?
problem
That
with
happens
it.
in so many movies.
Here's my problem. How many movies do you know do a 3-year time jump just to get to that scene so it's the end of the movie?
That's
Nothing
true.
important could have happened in those 3 years.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Well, it looks like
And then
I don't think he was
the last thing
disgraced.
she says is "I love you," and he says "I love my pride," and then he dies.
A very
So
important
dumb.
message.
What's the message?
He loved his pride more than he loved her.
Fuck, you're right.
Just saying.
You're right.
Just
All
saying.
right, fine.
And he knew it. He went out and was like, he had to tell her that he acknowledged that flaw of his.
Well, Marcus, that's all I got to say about Cyrano. You got anything else?
I do not. That was great.
All right.
I guess should we do the questions now for this part and then do the questions again for the next one?
It's up to you.
Yeah, let's do that. Nick, what did you think of the movie? Did you like the movie?
Did I like the movie? Did I walk away from the movie glad I watched it? Yes.
Yeah, that's a win in my book, baby.
Did I like the film? No. It was a train wreck. But did I like did I like watching it? Yes.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Do I think it's a good film? No, I do not. That's my answer.
That's a complicated answer, but I'll accept it. You know what?
and
In
it's
my
a
head, all I
complicated
heard
film.
was, thank you, Marcus, for giving me this movie. So I'll take it.
Oh, Crim in the chat, pride comes before the fall. Marcus, I'm pretty sure that's how you're going to go down.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I'll be too proud to tell anyone I'm dying, and then I'll die. I'm like, oh, fuck.
That sounds right.
He had a very curable disease.
Oh, Marcus, here I am saying all this shit. I need to resubscribe on Twitch to the Now Try This Cast podcast. But here's the thing. I don't need to waste any money doing it because I have Amazon Prime. So I connected my Amazon Prime to my Twitch, and now I just click use Prime sub, and now I'm subscribed to the channel. And now we get a couple bucks to help us out make the show.
Golly gee willikers, Nick. That was fast.
It was easy too. What's the next question?
That distracted me so much. Will you, what is the next question? Will you continue?
Would you recommend it?
Would you recommend the movie? I'm so good at this. We've only been doing this for a year back.
If anybody likes anything about this film, I would totally tell them to do it. I just would warn them ahead of time. It's not a musical.
It's, yeah, I would edit out all the
They
musical
sing.
clips.
They sing,
Yeah,
but it's not a musical.
I agree. I agree. It didn't
Yeah.
capture the musical vibe.
But anybody that knows Peter Dinklage, I would definitely tell them to watch it because he's firing on all cylinders here.
Now, the next question is, would you continue watching, but there's no more? Would you watch another adaptation with Cyrano if they did a different musical?
Marcus, I'm already 2 adaptations of Cyrano in. I think I'm good for a little while.
Fair enough. Okay.
Though, go ask me if I would watch a sequel to the half of it at the end because you might get a surprising answer.
Well, Nick, speaking of adaptations,
Oh, Crim never watched the half of it. Go watch it right now in the next 30 seconds and come right back.
Yeah.
You got time.
we're gonna cut to a game because it's game time, baby. We're gonna play a
Oh,
game
game time.
real quick and then get to the half of it.
Boop, boop, boop.
Now try this trivia. Now try this trivia. Now trivia. Now trivia. Now trivia this.
And we're back. Yeah. Cooley Crim says they'll pass. Well, I'm sorry, you're lost because the half of it.
Well,
is
then you can
very
just
good.
listen to us talk about it. You'll have a great time, I promise.
Okay, Nick. This game is called Adaptations.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Am I gonna let me guess what this is. Am I gonna guess adaptations of popular movies?
You got it, Nick. I'm
Great.
gonna give
10
you,
things I hate about you,
I'm
10 me
gonna-
of the shrew. Nailed it.
I'm gonna give you a category. Right? It's gonna there's
Jeopardy
3
style?
categories: graphic novels,
Ooh.
plays, novels. Right? So, and you are going to. I'm gonna list a bunch of movies, and you have to guess which one is not based on whatever it is the category is. Right? So this first category is novels. So I'm gonna list a bunch of movies. You're gonna tell me which one is not based on a novel.
I would never, ever pull you out live on the podcast,
Sure.
but I feel like there might have been an easier way to play this game.
Nick, it's been very stressful. Okay? And this is a good game. It's quick.
I'm ready.
It's easy, and we have a whole nother movie to talk about.
I'm ready to play adaptations.
Novels: Die Hard, Clueless, Breakfast at Tiffany's, Amelie, and adaptation. Which one of those is not based on a novel?
Marcus, 5 is way too many. Holy shit! Hold on, the 5 is too many. You need okay. No more judging on your game.
Good.
Let's see. I know Clueless is based on holy shit, but Clueless is based on a play, isn't it? Is that where this is? You were distinctly asking me which one of these is not adapted from a novel.
I'm not trying to play games with you. So if you I will look into it and see if it's but it is based on
Something.
Yes.
You're more asking me which one's original.
Okay,
content.
one of these is an original screenplay. I think that's the best way of saying it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, I think Clueless is a Shakespeare play. I forget which one. But I could be wrong. So let's see. So I know Clueless is something. I'm pretty sure Die Hard is something. I'm pretty sure.
I wonder.
I don't know what adaptation is.
We've done 3 episodes of Die Hard, Nick, on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the first one's based on something.
Sure, maybe. I hope you would know.
I'm really excited if I make you wrong. That'd be my crowning achievement in this game right now. What were the other 2? Clueless, Die Hard adaptation,
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
And Amelie.
Amelie and adaptation.
Okay, I don't know what adaptation is, so I'm not even gonna guess it. Amelie and Breakfast at Tiffany's are where my head's at. I feel like Breakfast at Tiffany's.
It's based on that song.
Oh, Breakfast at Tiffany's. Breakfast at Tiffany's. Isn't that
Breakfast at Tiffany's?
the song is based off of the movie?
Nah,
isn't that
it's backwards.
I hate you so much.
Movie's based on the song.
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I feel like Breakfast at Tiffany's is based off of a magazine short story by Capote. Am I making that up? Did I just make that up? By Truman Capote?
I don't know.
Did I make that up?
I don't
That's what
know, Nick. Maybe
so
you
I'm
should
gonna say
guess
Amelie.
that or guess something
Amelie.
else. Nick,
Amelie.
is that your final answer?
Yes, because French don't copy shit.
Nick, you're correct. The French don't copy shit because Amelie is right. Die Hard is based on a book called Nothing Lasts Forever by Roderick Thorpe. Clueless
like a
is
double
based on
seven.
Emma by Jane Austen. Breakfast
Emma.
at Tiffany's is based on the novella of the same name by Truman Capote.
What?
Amelie is original. Adaptation is based on The Archetype by Susan Orlean. Good job. That was great.
Tell me
When you
the
said
truth.
Truman
Tell me the
Capote,
truth.
I was like, fuck.
Are you impressed? Are you not
I'm impressed.
entertained?
I am
All right,
impressed.
give me the next
I'm
one.
impressed.
I'm
Okay,
ready.
next one.
I am ready.
These are all graphic
did I know
novels.
that?
Nick, based on what's behind you, I assume you're going to get this easy peasy.
Oh, you can almost see my flash shelf.
I see that the shelf with the Flash characters is not the Flash shelf.
No. I have a lot of flash things.
So, Fully Cooley
I get
says
gifted a lot of flash things. Everybody knows I love the flash.
Fully Cooley says that Capote pool was amazing. So someone else is impressed.
I know. Clip that. That was fucking cool. I'm so happy about that.
Okay.
So what? Graphic novel.
Graphic novels. First one, Road to Perdition. Second
100%
one,
is.
The Mask.
The 100% is.
Ex Machina is the third one. The fourth one is Snowpiercer. And the fifth one is Old. Nick,
Old, the M. Night
which
Shyamalan
of these
movie?
is an original screenplay? Old, the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Okay, it's 100% either Old or the third one you said. 1, 2, and 4 were definitely graphic novels. Road to Perdition,
Ex
I had it on
Machina.
my shelf because I knew it was a comic book. Mask,
Mhm.
I also know is a comic book.
Uh-huh.
Ex
Mask is a
Machina, you mean
wild
the-
comic book. Have you read it?
I've never read it.
It's
No, I
wild.
just know it's a comic. Ex Machina as in the Domino Gleason movie?
Yeah,
Because there is an Ex Machina comic,
it's not that.
but it has nothing to do with that. So I'm pretty sure that's original. And I know that's one of your favorite, if not your favorite movie of all time.
Mhm. Yep.
It was for a long time. I don't know if it's been upseated by anything.
It probably has. I haven't thought about what my favorite movie is, but for a long time that was my favorite movie. Hereditary might
For a
have
good
beaten it
5
out.
years, that was your favorite movie.
Yeah.
What movie?
Hereditary.
Oh, Hereditary is pretty great.
I love that movie.
And what was number 4?
Snowpiercer.
Yeah, that's 100% a comic book. Okay, so let's see. Ex Machina or Old? I feel like Old is the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Hereditary is
You
no
got
way
called
better than
out
Ex
in the
Machina.
chat.
Maybe you're right. I have to rewatch both of them. And see which one I like more. I loved Ex Machina for a long time. It was my favorite movie.
But you haven't watched it for a while. Hereditary
Exactly,
threw
yeah.
you for a loop, right? It was so
Yeah.
different.
I've watched Hereditary more times now than I've watched Ex Machina. So maybe I need to go back and
I'm-
watch Ex Machina again.
Pretty sure the answer is Ex Machina. I will go with that final answer.
Nick, you're correct.
Oh my god, I'm the king.
Good job. Good job.
Yes.
Road to Perdition is based on the graphic novel by Max Allan Collins and Richard Piers Rayner. The Mask is based on the comic book, The Adventures of the Mask. Ex Machina, original screenplay. Snowpiercer, based on Les Transpositions by Jacques Loeb. And
Yeah.
Old is based on Sandcastle by Pierre Oscar Levy and Frederick Peters.
I didn't know that last one. I did
watched
not know that last one.
a very long video about the graphic novel that Old is based on. It's really interesting.
That is interesting. Have you watched the movie?
I have, yeah.
Was it worth watching even for how bad it was?
Nick.
Yeah?
I liked the movie. I just like
Are you one of the only people?
I thought it was bad.
You just got called out by your
when
girlfriend.
did I
When
watch
did you watch Old? Without you?
I had it on at
apparently.
work. I was like, I'm gonna watch this. So I watched it and I liked it.
Should I wait to watch it? Because I might get it someday.
No, it's not good. It's not a good
Oh, okay.
movie. But since the world hated it, my bar was so low that I was like, I kind of liked it. There's parts I liked about it.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it. All right. What's the last category?
The last one is place.
All right. Let's see if I can go full sweep, clean sweep here.
Okay, Nick.
Mhm.
An officer and a gentleman. She's
Uh-huh.
the man. Driving Miss
Uh-huh.
Daisy.
Uh-huh.
War Horse
Uh-huh.
and Moonlight.
Wow. Well, I'm shocked because I so know the answer.
Yeah.
War
let's
Horse,
go.
the Steven Spielberg film was 100% a play. She's the Man is based off of 12th Night by Shakespeare.
Yep.
What's the last one you said?
Driving Miss Daisy.
No, Moonlight. Moonlight was the last one you said.
Yeah.
I know Moonlight was because the same guy who made the play made the movie. It was a big deal that he came up, and I loved that film. So I was really paying attention to that. And then what was the second one you said?
She's the Man. No.
No, the third one.
Driving Miss Daisy.
Driving Miss Daisy. I'm pretty sure Driving Miss Daisy was a play. I'm pretty sure. So what was the first one you said?
An officer and a gentleman.
Now hold on though. That sounds like it could be a play. Hold on though. Okay. Oh, I'm not so sure anymore. It's one of those two.
Yeah,
It's
I feel like
100%.
you've been pretty good. You've been pretty good at this game.
Hold on though.
Mm-hmm.
An officer and a gentleman.
While you're thinking, I will say this. I would watch Old again, 100%. So if anybody wants to watch Old with me, let me know. I watch Old.
Maybe we can have a watch party.
Is that allowed on Twitch?
I don't know.
No, fuck it.
Who cares? M. Night Shyamalan shitty movie. If it's on Amazon Prime, you can.
Okay, good. We'll watch it.
Oh shoot. Driving Miss Daisy. My instinct was to say the first one.
Huh?
But because I'm pretty sure Driving Miss Daisy was a play, but all the other ones I'm like really sure.
Okay.
Officer and the Gentleman, I don't know. I know it's one of those older movies. It's got like fucking Richard Gere or some shit, right?
Uh-huh. Let me see.
it
who
Richard
has-
Gere?
I'm looking. I gotta look.
It's not like it's gonna influence my answer. I just want to know if I'm thinking of the right movie.
An Officer and a Gentleman has Richard Gere in it. Yeah.
I'm gonna guess that. I'm gonna guess An Officer and a Gentleman.
Nick, you're right. Good job. Hell yeah. 3 for 3. Killed it. That was pretty good.
I am a cinephile.
That was really good. That's really good.
Woo. Nice.
So Daron actually made the game, and she originally put My Big Fat Greek Wedding as the one that didn't have an adaptation. And then I Googled it, and it was like, no, that was based on a one-woman play called My Big Fat Greek Wedding or something. So it's funny. Because it's like,
Perfect
man,
score.
that
That's
one,
right.
That one was a trick. It almost was a trick question where all of them were plays.
I take back my harsh criticisms of the game.
Good job.
No, it ended up being really fun. It was like the perfect amount of hard. Great job.
Viewers need an Amazon Prime as well for a watch party. So if everyone has
Well,
Amazon
good.
Prime,
Sign up for Amazon Prime and then give us your free Prime sub here on Twitch.
yeah, there you go. That's the solution right there, baby. Okay, Nick, back into podcast mode. I just closed the window I needed. Hold on 1 second. What is this?
That's fine because we're about to talk about The Half of It. The Half of It is a 2020 Netflix movie, a coming-of-age movie directed by Ellis Wu, starring Lee Lewis in the Cyrano part, and it came out on Netflix a couple years ago. I missed the boat on this, not for any real reason. It got like a good amount of hype. People were talking about it. There were trailers around. People were looking at it. I was busy. It was 2020, right before the pandemic, right into the pandemic. Right? That was right during the pandemic? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it was during the pandemic.
I was like, I'm not watching anything right now. But you watched it, and you've been sitting on this for a couple years now. Why'd you want to give me the half of it?
So I wanted to give you the half of it because I am not a rom-com guy. Nothing against rom-coms, but almost all of the rom-coms I've ever watched are because you've made me watch them for this podcast.
Yeah.
So I do not normally go out of my way to watch rom-coms, but this came up, and Daron is a huge rom-com fan. And so I was like, you know what? Let's watch this together. I watch anything. You know me. I'm down to watch anything. If you are excited about something, I will watch you. I will watch it, not watch you. I'll watch it. But
Oh, we watch you watching it.
I will watch
watching
you watch it. So she put on this movie, and I was like, immediately, I was in it. I was captivated by it. I thought the acting was so much better than I thought it was going to be. The characters were so endearing and likable. Everything about it just really vibed with me. And I sat down after watching it, and immediately I was like, fuck, I would watch that again. Like, I don't think that about
Wow.
movies very often, where I would watch them a second time. And I was like, man, I want to watch that again. And so I knew I was going to give it to you for the podcast, even if it was just an excuse to watch the movie again. And so I figured that would be a good time because we were doing another adaptation of Cyrano.
That makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So this film starts, and right away you're introduced to Ellie Chu, who lives in this town of Squamish, this shitty town where she lives with their dad and helps him do stuff for the train station. I honestly was a little confused about the whole train station thing, but basically the dad went there to work there and move up the ranks, but his English wasn't good enough, and his degree was from China, so he couldn't ever get past just being the guy that like flipped the switch.
Yeah.
But then
Well,
the
you've
wife
heard
died
that
and he got
story a
super
lot,
sad.
right?
What do you mean?
Like that story happens a lot. Like you have a lot of people who come to this country to work a job. They're doctors in their own country or whatever, and they end up having to like be janitors or something here because it's just like their degree we don't accept it here for whatever reason. So yeah, so it's that story.
Yeah, that's not what I was confused about. The thing that I was just confused about was, so basically his wife died, and then he got stuck at this train station just hitting the signal, but he's too sad to do it, so she does it every day. And
Basically.
that's
Yeah.
basically it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I the whole film I felt really bad for them, but in the back of my head I didn't have this. I kept having this inkling sensation where I'm just like, dude, just make the dad like go do his job. Like,
He's
listen, I get
depressed.
it.
He's
Be sad, be
depressed.
depressed. I get it. Listen, as a high functioning depressive, I totally understand what it's like being depressed, but I also go to my fucking job. Like I'm just saying, you got a fucking daughter. Like, get off your ass. Like, he seems like he's like making jokes about the TV and like eating, and he seems fine. And I'm like, go do your job, do something. What is this? My question was, what is this dad doing all day long?
He's doing part of his job. I think he does part of his job. He had like a little device from the window that he was doing it, right?
Oh, did I? No, I missed
thought
that.
he
That's
did.
what I'm saying. That's why I was so confused. Okay, maybe that was happening. Okay, maybe he was doing stuff.
And she's at school. The
from my
train
impression-
comes during school hours, so he's doing the job.
No, because when she was
sometimes.
with Aster, remember she said the train only comes 2 times a day,
Oh fuck, you're right.
and she's there and she's doing it.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, no, he's not doing the train. You're right. He's just too
He's not
depressed.
doing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
Hey, parents be
So
like
then-
that though. Sometimes parents
They
are
do,
like
they
that.
are. They really really are. But then you get the Cyrano thing. Then you get the Cyrano thing where Paul. Oh, but I guess before that you find out Ellie is writing essays for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which at first I was confused about, but then I was like, good business model. You fucking making
she
these- all
honestly
these
she's
essays.
making a killing. So basically, you find
No,
out
she
that
wasn't. She was writing $20 an essay.
Wait, she was charging $20 an essay. That's
Yeah,
good. She's making a killing. She's doing good.
a whole essay for $20.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
No, that
Nick-
shit's at worst at least 40.
Nick, in college, I needed money. So I found a website where you do people's homework for them for money. And I got
I
like
remember.
$1 per homework assignment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, the going rate for essays was like max $5. It was like really not a lot.
Crim in the chat said I would have got my dad fired for not doing that shit. Oh, then I'm mistaken. I wasn't privy to the doing other people's homework
the
game.
business of doing other people's homework is hard.
Never mind then. Okay.
She was killing it at
Kill-
$20 a pop.
Doing 4 or 5 a week? All right. Never mind.
The teacher was like, "Oh, you had 6 different interpretations of this like
She
one
said
thing."
4.
Oh, she said 4. $80 in your pocket, right there,
Every week? At
every
least?
week.
All right.
Hell yeah!
All right. But then Paul, the inarticulate football player, as
Mhm.
Wikipedia says it, asked her to help him write a love letter. And then we start with our Cyrano shit.
Yes. So basically, the premise is he is in love with this girl,
Aster.
Aster, and he doesn't know how to impress her. He knows she's intelligent, she's beautiful. He knows that he cares about her, but he also doesn't know what love is necessarily, which I think
Yeah.
is a huge part of the movie. And neither does Ellie. They just know they have feelings.
I think right away, I think this movie is interesting because The other Cyrano was dealing with the themes he was dealing with the same premise was
Mhm.
like pride and like, how to how to express your love. But this teen drama is like, I feel like hitting the question, what is love, way harder
I
than
agree.
this old timey inverse fucking
Yeah.
Joe Wright film,
Yeah, yeah,
which is
yeah.
wild.
Yeah. They do a better job of interpreting that message and figuring out what is love. And also like taking the same sort of feeling of like Cyrano having so many self-doubts and not feeling confident enough in his self because of the way he looks. They took that and translated that to sort of Ellie being from a small town and being gay. And I think that transfer worked really well for the film.
Yeah, agreed. So then we just I don't want to go beat for beat, but then we get the back and forth of Paul and Ellie getting together to write the letters to figure out
Mhm.
what to say to Aster, and then eventually it does the 21st century thing where it goes from being a letter thing to a text thing. They go on like Ghost app or something, and she is
Yeah.
writing for him through the text messages.
Yeah, which is a
But right
great way
away,
of modernizing this whole thing too.
yeah, which we didn't even talk about the real way that this movie. I think right away this movie captivated me because Ellie has a crush on Aster
Mhm.
right away.
Yeah.
But the way it handles that crush is so much better than Cyrano because it just has this added layer of, in their community, it seems like she's not supposed to,
Yeah.
or she hasn't grappled with what that feeling is yet,
Mhm.
or she hasn't said it out loud to herself, or she doesn't know what the feelings are. All she knows is when she talks to her, she likes talking to her.
Yeah.
And like she hasn't grappled with that yet. So the love triangle in this has like these extra layers of like doubt and repression and anxiety that are just
Yeah.
it makes it so much more real
Yeah, for
as
sure.
they're dealing with this stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's interesting too because there's like they play with the dynamic a little bit more too, right? Like the story and the plot line of Cyrano. You know how this normally would go, and I feel like they try to subvert it a little bit to really emphasize the messages that they're trying to get across. Like there's also a little side plot of like under the love umbrella of like what is friendship love and what does that look
Oh, yeah.
like and how that can kind of be misinterpreted as well.
Marcus, I think the most powerful part of this film is the friendship between Ellie and Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Ellie and Paul finding out that they're best friends as this story progresses was beautiful.
I agree.
Ellie thinking that Paul is just a dummy that like just likes a pretty girl, but then like finding out about his family and how he has to work at the sausage place and he wants to change the recipe and he has these like ideas of like grandness. For in another circumstance wouldn't even be that grand, but for him, like that's like his dreams and it's like him reaching. And then for Paul to see Ellie, who's this quiet, smart girl, and realize that she has all this heart and all this love and all these things she's dealing with and how adult she is because of all the things she's doing with her father, and how then they start to help each other, not with the letter writing but like in their lives. Like the fact that Paul is getting better at running and he gets better at football because of Ellie, and the fact that Ellie is like sending these letters for him to get food credits, and the fact that Paul is helping her dad be less depressed and having Ellie open up, and the way he handed her the guitar at the talent show was fucking like real fucking
Yeah.
love.
Yeah. Yeah.
So much so that Paul doesn't know what to do with it
Yeah.
and thinks he's falling in love with Ellie and kisses her.
Yes. Which was it was a really awkward scene because
Yeah.
then Aster also walks in on them when he tries to
Yeah.
kiss Ellie and he's confused and she's confused and Aster's like, what the fuck is going on here? And so there are a lot of emotions there. And
Yeah.
I at first I found myself being like, oh, I hate this scene because it's like, oh, it's like he's forcing himself on
Yeah.
her and it's like weird. But then I understood it a little better after watching it the second time and like realizing that it's just that friendship thing. Like love is sometimes confusing, especially between like different like genders and people being attracted to someone else. And so I mean a lot of people end up sleeping with their friends or people in their friend group or whatever like that because it's just like it's that connection's already there. So it makes sense that he confused that, especially being so young and not having experienced love ever before. So I was less offended by it the second time watching it.
Yeah, I was so taken aback during that scene too when he was like, "It's a sin," and I was
Mhm.
like, "What is that? Where they
Yeah.
were going?" But then the way it handled the religion, the fact that Astor's father is a priest, the fact that she
Mhm.
pays at the church, the fact that Paul's family, the fact that this is when Paul won me, and I was like, Paul, you could do no wrong.
Yeah.
When he Googled, "How do you know you're gay?" and he disagrees with her. He, as a fundamental, if you asked him is gay okay, he would have been like, no. But he thought, well, if gay's not okay, but I care about Ellie, if Ellie's gay, is gay okay? And he was like, I need to make this journey. And he
Yeah.
makes that journey within the course of this film,
Mhm.
very quietly, very humbly, very internally, very honestly. I was like, wow, Paul's a good dude.
Yeah. No,
You know?
Paul is such a sweet guy. And I like that
Yeah.
Daron makes a point in the chat that the movie's more about their friendship than it really is about this love triangle, which I feel like
I love that.
honestly is something that was missing from the original Cyrano. Like these two
Agreed.
guys have been bonded, especially in the version that we watched. They went to war together for like God knows how long.
Yeah.
They imagine if you saw them connecting during that time together instead of Cyrano running around behind his back writing letters to his wife.
Roxanne. Yeah, I think the actors had that in the movie, but they just didn't give time. Like
Yeah.
they had too much busy singing about the Duke. But I also think a really strong part of this is what we were saying earlier about the other film was Astor as a character here felt like a character. She felt like she had dimension and
Mhm.
purpose. Like she was conflicted about her boyfriend, her small town boyfriend who wanted to marry
Yeah.
her. She was conflicted about her father being the priest. She was conflicted about being an artist. And then she finally was starting to. The reason she was falling in love with the words of Ellie given to her by Paul was because they were giving her the support she needed to maybe be an artist and to
Yeah.
be true to herself. Whereas Roxanne, fucking, the reason she was falling in love with the letters, like, oh my god, someone actually loves me and has nice
Yeah.
words about it.
Yeah,
And isn't just
exactly.
saying they love me. Wow,
Yeah.
they're worth my time. And Astor's like, wow, this person loves me, and they like see me better than I see myself.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's why you fall in love with a person, right? Like they see more in you than you even
in
see yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, I feel there's so many aspects to love, right?
That's
but I
true.
feel like one big one that I've always wanted in my life from a partner, and now I'm lucky enough to get it, is, you know, I think of myself okay, but I don't have the best self-esteem, and I think I'm gonna accomplish things, but you know, when you're standing there saying, I don't know, these are my dreams and I kind of want to do them, and your partner's like, well, there's like no question you are going to do them.
Mm-hmm.
Of course you're going to do them.
Yeah.
There's no question. And just like in this movie, when she's like, I don't know, I like art, you know, and Ellie's like, that brushstroke over here, it has all this blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, they're falling in love.
Yeah. No,
You know?
I agree. I think it's a beautiful thing when your partner can support you. And I think that's what they're all looking for.
Yeah.
You know, all three of them are looking for someone to support them and not, you know, just like and be there for them and see them. You know, like Paul is like he doesn't struggle with like popularity or whatever, but he is buried in like his family and his life, and he has so many siblings, so he's never really like noticed, but he's always working hard quietly in the background. That's like core. So he's not being seen because he has too much going on at home. Ellie's not being seen because she's just like too busy working in the station and helping her father out and stuff. So she doesn't have anyone. And Astor, while she may seem like she has her shit together and is so popular, her true self, she feels like she has to hide because she has to live up to this like popular girl stereotype.
Yeah. And then I'll also say another thing that I really loved about this film was I've seen coming of age films. I've seen coming of age films with same-sex couples. I've seen coming of age films of all different types. But something that I've seen a lot of in mainstream guy identifying, girl identifying couples is I've seen it so much where in the coming of age story there's that moment, that almost like magical moment when like adulthood and like real feelings are all coming to a head, and it happens in all films in different times, especially in coming of age films, but in this film, the scene where Ellie and Astor almost go like play hooky that day when Paul isn't there, and they go around to the train station and then they go to the lake, and then that scene for me is just something so beautiful and magical that I rarely get from same-sex coming of age stories, because I feel like there's so much, you know what it is, I think a lot of same-sex coming of age stories, there's so much focus on the coming out of the being gay, of the like, here I am being different, whereas the truth is they're not different. But the movie is about that thing. It's about, like, Love, Simon, I love that film, I think it's a great film, but it's about being gay. It's about coming out. This film is not about coming out. They are coming out, they are experiencing a same-sex relationship for the first time, but it literally was only about Aster and Ellie falling in love. And especially in that scene where I don't know if Aster knew it was happening yet. Ellie definitely knew it was happening, but I think Aster, the way the actress did it, you could see it in her face and eyes really well, I think, as they were talking and finally opening up. They were falling in love, you know? And you don't get that a lot in stories like this. And I really appreciated how normalized it was, how quaint and simple and teenagers falling in love it was. You know, it's just something you rarely get. And I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, it's sort of the same problem you have with so many other movies where it's like, oh, this isn't the like nuclear family that we're seeing on screen, so we have to address what makes them different and focus on that as a core like pillar of the film. Whereas you're like, okay, like this is just like, no, it's a normal thing. They're falling in love, and yes, we deal with the like being gay and having to come from a small town. That's definitely part of it, but it's not like the main focus of the whole thing.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
I really appreciate it.
I was going to say, I feel like something you said kind of like made me also kind of realize another thing I like about this movie is that when you have young people falling in love in a rom-com, it feels like you're watching the end of their life. Like the movie ends and their life ends. And I can't really picture it other than being 18 and getting pregnant way too early and working at a Walmart. You know, like that's what I picture at the end of a lot of like teenage romance movies. Yeah. Because it's like 100%. They've worked so hard to find this love and they love them forever. And it's like, and then it ends. And it's like, I don't see a future for these characters where they aren't miserable. But I feel like this movie ended in a way that like I absolutely loved, where it seemed like they had this huge experience and it was going to influence their future decisions, but they were off to go make future decisions afterwards. The end of the movie, and apart too. Like this person that they were in love with isn't their whole life. They all have existences outside of this dynamic.
Yeah. And that's so much more true to life, right? Because I've been in love many times with high school people, and I thought that was it. And I've told you the tales of who I've been in love with, and I'm sure it sounded like one of these movies sometimes, you know what I mean? And then I thought in that moment that was it, that was done. And now looking back, I just think about how it's shaped me and how it's influenced the next decisions I've made, which you see in this film. Especially, I love that scene with Aster and Ellie finally having that last talk together, and Aster being like, not mad about what happened, but like thankful in a way of like, you know, she didn't say it, but she was like thankful of like, now I'm gonna go and try to be an artist and like try to figure myself out. And she like, you know, in so many words was like, I don't know who I love, I don't know what's happening, but I don't know how to love me right now, so I'm gonna figure that out. And then Ellie was like, yeah, you totally do. But then very sweetly like gave her a big kiss and said, I hope you hurry. And then but she didn't stop, she left Grinnell.
Exactly. I love that. I think that was amazing. I also liked that Aster as a love interest was a fully fleshed out character with her own wants and needs and beliefs.
Rare.
And I feel like in rom-coms that is such a rare thing. Like the love interest is an object. They're just a thing to be obtained, whether they're a man or a woman. It feels like they are a thing to be obtained. And then at the end of the movie, you got it. You got the prize and you won. And it's like, love doesn't work like that. People don't work like that. People are more complex. People evolve and change. And I like to see that this person was three-dimensional.
Yeah, you're describing the Manic Pixie Dream Girl, the love interest that exists to let our main character grow.
Yes, but it's not just the Manic Pixie Dream Girls. It's a lot, like even regular ass rom-coms. Richard Gere has been this thing to fucking someone. in a movie before too. Like it's just, I don't know. They're just so one-dimensional.
It happened. It's usually the woman, but yes,
But you're
right.
right. Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, I think for me, I think the reason this movie really shines are those quiet moments. The director has such a good take. The shots they're making and
Mhm.
everything, they
Oh, yeah,
really,
for sure.
really have a story to tell, and it's very distinct, and I loved it. Alice Wu did a fantastic job. But I think the place that shines are those quiet moments. The quiet moments of them all sitting in the living room, the three of them, Paul, the dad, and Ellie.
Mhm.
The small scenes where they're like in the train station trying to come up with what to say to Aster. The small moments of like Paul taking Ellie to her first party and then taking her home to
God,
tuck her into bed.
yes. Yeah.
You know, like those small moments of are like real love and like real
Mhm.
tenderness of like
Yeah.
showing us what it's like to be a kid and figuring it out
I
and
agree.
and living for something other than yourself. It was really sweet.
Yeah. The movie was overall just really sweet and genuine. It felt sincere in a way that a lot of movies don't feel sincere.
Yeah.
It felt like the
Agreed.
writer, it felt like Alice Wu in her directing and in her writing captured like the human experience in a way that I feel like sometimes movies are made by sociopaths who haven't ever had a real life experience. And you're like,
Yeah.
okay, have you ever been in this situation? And they're writing a fantasy version of whatever scenario. And I feel like this feels real. This feels like real people living their lives.
Agree.
mean-
Sorry, I was looking at the Wikipedia to see if there's any other information.
No.
But not really.
No, I think that's it. I feel like it is great. She literally only has 2 feature films to her name, and they're both so good.
I want to watch the other one now.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see if she does something else soon. But Marcus, is there anything else you have to say about the half? It's funny because we have so much more to say about Cyrano, but that was the shit on it. This movie was so good. I have so little to say except it was just great. It was a great film.
I mean, I don't know if we've done a good enough job of talking about this movie, but I think that Alice Wu is an incredibly talented writer and director. All of these actors are so endearing. And if you haven't checked it out, I urge you to go check it out for yourself.
Agreed.
Nick, got a couple questions for you, bud.
What's up?
Did you like the movie?
God, I love this film. This was such a good
Yeah.
film. This was such a good, it's great rom-com, great coming of age story, great film featuring an Asian American lead, great film. It's written and directed by a woman of color. So many pleasant things about this film that I'm just like, wow, why didn't
Yeah.
I watch this? I'm
Yeah.
such an idiot.
I feel like it slept on. I know people really liked it, but I feel like it didn't reach as many
a
people
quiet
as I
film.
thought it would have.
It's a quiet film. That's
Mhm.
is why. It's not a big bombastic in your face thing. It's subtle and quiet. But it like makes you contend with what is love. And baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more,
Don't hurt me no more, indeed. Nick, would you recommend the film?
Yeah, to everybody. To anybody, to everybody. Everybody should
Nice.
watch this film.
Fuck yeah.
Everybody at some point had to everybody at some point had to contend with the fact that they needed to make a decision
Mhm.
on what love meant to them. And that's what this movie's about, figuring out what love is. It's so relatable to everybody. It doesn't matter if you didn't work at a train station or didn't, have your father's not from China or you're not a lesbian. Like none of those things matter.
Yeah,
Like because the principle of this film is figuring out what love is, and we can all relate to that so hard.
I agree. God, the dad was also a good character. I love
was
that
great.
he was like
He was
watching
great.
movies and he was sad, but he really loved his daughter. Oh man, he thought he was.
That's the scene
they were
between him and Paul when Paul was telling him to stop being fucking sad and let his daughter fucking do shit.
Yeah,
That was a great scene.
I loved it. It was really heartwarming. Okay.
And the dad talked to Paul in Chinese, and Paul's just getting there like, what?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
But he
I
like
love
got
that.
it somehow. It was
Because-
really good.
that happens so much in movies. People will just speak English to someone else, and we're like, yes. You never see that happen in reverse. I liked it.
Yeah.
Would you watch a sequel if there was one?
100%. I think they should make us. I'm very rare. I'm rare in the sequel game. I am rarely
Mhm.
like make me more of this one and done story because this story is so perfect. It's so
Yeah.
perfect as it is. But would I mind finding out what Ellie, Paul, and Aster are up to in college?
Hell
and what
yeah.
happens? Hell yeah, I'd be
Yeah.
up for it. Honestly, make it into a show. Make it
Hell
a
yeah.
fucking series.
You
I'm
can call
there.
it the other
these
half of
actors
it.
and actresses.
It's pretty good.
The half of it. The other half
The
of it.
other
Love
half.
it.
I love it. Yeah, I think it would be fantastic to watch.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that's it, Nick.
That's all
That's
of it.
it. We're excited.
Now, usually this is when I would give you. Oh, we didn't mention the Patreon today. Oops. Oh well.
well, now
This
we
is
can.
when I would give you my challenge But I'm not going to give you my challenge because this week's next challenge is going to be, we don't know yet. Because the patrons are deciding. That's right. At patreon.com/nowtrythiscast, every $5 tier member gets to submit every month their challenge. And then everybody that gives just $1 gets to vote on those submissions to decide what we are doing once a month at the beginning of every month. So right now, if you are listening to this live, or maybe even listening to the recording, you might still have a chance to go to patreon.com/nowtrythiscast and vote to decide what our challenge is going to be next month. And that will be what we do.
Hell yeah. Also, I do want to mention we did a Pokemon Arceus, Pokemon Legends Arceus giveaway over
Woo!
on our various social media channels. And we want to thank everyone for participating. After this, we're going to go pick the winner and post it on social media, or at least post that we reached out to them. We don't want to dox them.
No.
And
We'll let them know what's
we'll
up.
put their home address. We'll post some Facebook profile pictures.
The name
we'll
of their
post everything.
firstborn son.
Yeah. Yep. So, so we'll be picking the winners, reaching out to them, and if for some reason they don't respond within a reasonable amount of time, maybe we'll pick someone else. But thank you for participating and sharing and liking and all that stuff.
And guys, you can follow us everywhere at Now Try This Cast on all socials. You can also go to nowtrythiscast.com to find out everything we're doing. Twitch.tv/nowtrythiscast is where we stream every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can also leave us iTunes or Spotify reviews, 5 stars, if you do not have the money to contribute or subscribe at this time.
Hell yeah, Nick. Love it.
Hell
okay,
yeah.
guys, I think that was everything. So thank you for joining us. Good night. And remember to go out there and try things.
Good night.
Friends get together so they can try things. Yell about it, it's podcast so that you can try things. Now we will stop singing so that we can all now try this.
I feel like we should do Batman. Oh, I'm so excited for that one.
You're excited?
I am excited. I think it
Because
could.
you think it's gonna be a good movie?
No, because I
got
just
it. I
want
understand.
new Batman content. I didn't like for me, I didn't like the Christopher Nolan movies. So like
You didn't like The Dark Knight at all?
I liked half of the Dark Knight movie. All of the parts without Batman I liked. All of the parts
So
with
you like the
Batman I
Joker,
hated.
You like Two-Face. You
Yeah.
like Alfred.
Yeah.
You like.
Yeah,
You even like Bruce Wayne. It just wasn't your Batman.
exactly.
I get
So it was a good
And this
movie.
should be him being a detective again. It should be
Yep.
like the things you actually like.
The
what
things I
you
like about
personally
Batman
about him.
are actually happening in the movie. So
Maybe we'll see.
exactly. So we don't know. So that's why
have
I'm
no idea how I
excited
feel.
because I'm like, oh, I'm optimistic. I'm like, this could be good. It could be absolute dog shit, but at least
Well, listen, I
there's hope.
feel nothing. So if you want to challenge it, you go for it. When's it come out?
March 5th. I don't know, some shit like that.